Hello Aries, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes and all your comments. Please keep them coming. I love hearing from you. So now on to your reading for the month of March. March is going to be a big month. It's going to be a big month for all of us in one particular area of life. Now for you, it's going to be about you. It's going to be about your relationship with yourself and also your relationship with others, because as we go into this month, we've got 4 planets. This is on the 1st of March. We've got 4 planets in your sign. We've got the Moon, Venus, Mars and Uranus. And they're bringing a lot of attention to how you feel about yourself. There's a lot going on within you, and there's a lot of transformation that's going to take place because we've got Venus moving retrograde in your sign this month, which is quite a big deal. So there'll be a lot of reassessing of feelings. There'll be a lot of things coming to the surface, and this is going to affect you on a kind of the level of how you relate to yourself, how you feel about yourself, but it's also going to have a big impact on your relationships as well. We've got Jupiter opposite Uranus in your sign as well, and this is asking for a kind of breath of fresh air. It's asking for a new perspective on things, whether it be about yourself or relationships. So first of all, for those of you who are actually in relationships, you might find that you are questioning how comfortable you feel to be yourself in the relationship. You might be questioning how much you're able to express yourself, because we've got Uranus in your sign, and that's about self-expression. And there will be, I think you'll start to look at, where have I not shown up as who I really am? Where have I maybe at times kind of just gone with the flow in order to maybe please my partner? You'll be looking at those kinds of things, because ultimately what you want to do now is you want to reach a deeper and more honest understanding of your relationship and love. So this is something that's going to be coming up. On the 4th, we have Venus going retrograde, like I said, in your sign. So this all adds to that same conversation. So where you're looking at love, you're looking at how you relate to other people, you're also looking at how you relate to yourself. Do you feel comfortable just being you? Do you feel that you're accepted for who you are? If not, then there's some healing that can be done around those areas, because a lot of this is about self-acceptance and self-healing, because once we accept ourselves, it's easier for others to accept us too, because we're comfortable with who we are and we're showing up as who we are. So it's going to be a really powerful month for you in terms of relationships and how you feel about yourself. And there's a lot of really great healing energy and supportive energy for it. It gives you an opportunity to kind of almost press pause and, just like I said, reassess. And you'll have this opportunity until the 15th of April. And you'll have this time to kind of think to yourself, right, how do I feel about me? Are there problems that have arisen in my relationship because of the fact that actually I don't feel so good about myself? It could be that there's been some projection going on or things like that. Or could it be that your partner has maybe done things to make you feel like you're not good enough or like you can't be yourself? But this is a good time to have those conversations because it's supported. You can actually bring those things up to the surface and deal with them together. So if there was ever a time to really look at your relationship and reassess it with love and with understanding eyes, and for it to be received well, then this is definitely the time. So there's a lot of really good energy around that. Like I said, the focus is really on you. It's on self-expression. It's on your relationship with yourself and self-love. For those of you who are single, you're going to be going through the same kind of thing. So You know, just because you're single, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're comfortable just being who you are. Sometimes we can be single, but we can be hiding behind certain masks and personas. So this, once again, will be asking you, you know, how do I feel about myself? Maybe how I felt about myself has in the past attracted the wrong kind of person. And so you get a chance to maybe work out some of the baggage so that the next relationship you find, it's a lot more positive, it's a lot more healthy, it's a reflection of what you actually want and who you are. And you will have this time to I like to look at it as a kind of, if you're single, it's a great time to really think about love, think about your self-worth and what you value, and to reassess and really shore up what it is you want, so that then when someone does come along, you have a clear idea of like, right, this is what I will accept, this is what I won't accept. So it's a really great time to kind of build those foundations of self-respect and self-worth and love. And you might find, because this is Venus going retrograde after all, that you might find that an ex comes back into your life. Not necessarily to start a relationship with. It could be because there's some healing that needs to be done there. It could even be a friend, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be love. But we are talking relationships and one-on-one relationships here. So it could be that somebody comes back into your life for healing purposes, or maybe even to get back together. If you've recently, I don't know, split up with somebody, it could be that there's talks about getting back together, but it won't be a quick process. It's more likely to be something you talk about quite soberly over time. And then maybe at the end of the Venus retrograde period, as Venus starts to move forward, you might think, okay, right, well, we've discussed everything. We know ourselves better now. Do we want to begin this relationship again? It's a good time to think about the kinds of people you attract if you're single, and what kind of people you want to attract, how what you put out into the world attracts certain things back to you. So you might want to think about, what am I doing? What messages am I sending to other people? And, you know, how does that affect how they show up in my world? You could meet somebody who embodies quite kind of Sagittarian or Jupiter kind of traits, you know, so somebody who's quite fun, open-minded, philosophical, could be from a different culture to you, could be quite a larger than life character, and you might have a lot of fun with that. But just what I would say with any new relationship in Venus retrograde, just take it slow. Don't rush in, because the thing is, this is a time for you to really be working through your I don't want to say issues because it sounds really heavy, but it's a time for you to be working through your understanding of love. It's not a time for you to be rushing headfirst into something. And quite often when Venus then starts to go direct, that's when we start to see the flaws in the other person, because, you know, we weren't really thinking properly, not so consciously when it was retrograde. So something to be mindful of. So, right, other than that, what have we got? Mars is currently in your sign, but it will be moving into Taurus, which is in your second house, and that's on the 10th. So there will start to be a drive for security and a drive to increase your finances, to look around at, you know, your material world, and how can I put more effort into getting the things that I want and shoring that up. So a bit of focus will start to move onto work and possessions and money, because this is kind of backed up by the full moon in Virgo in your 6th house on the 12th. So there will be a feeling of you know, looking at your finances, looking at work, looking at your wealth and your material goods, and wanting a sense of security. On the 13th, Mercury also enters your sign, so you've got a crazy busy month. It really is about yourself. So you might find that on the 13th, you become very expressive. It might be that after the 13th is a really good time to have those conversations with your partner about love, if you're with a partner. It might be that up until the 13th, you just want to take the time to think things through, mull things over in yourself, and then, you know, after the 13th, it might be a good time to really communicate, really express how you've been feeling. If you're single, it's a great time for just I would recommend self-expression that has to do with healing. You know, I think it'd be nice if you could tie that Venus and Mercury together and maybe use writing or talk to a friend or whatever, music, poetry, anything you can do that is self-expressive but also healing would be a great way to use this Venus retrograde energy with Mercury in your sign. On the 17th, we have the Sun in Pisces, which is in your 12th house, and that's going to be squaring off with Saturn in Sagittarius at 27 degrees. Now, I see this as, because the Sun, when it's in Pisces, it's in your 12th house, so it's about what's hidden, it's about the subconscious, it's about, you know, secret enemies, those kinds of things. The 9th house is the higher mind. It's a house of like higher learning and expansion. You could be feeling a little bit of a tension between, because you're going through, like I said, this process of transformation and healing this month. It could be that some of your subconscious and old kind of fears could be clashing a bit with your higher ideals and what you want for yourself in the long run, your vision in life. There could be a feeling of like a bit of push-pull, a bit of a restriction. You might start to realize that actually some of the beliefs that you've held, you know, and this is Sagittarius in the 9th house, you know, some of the beliefs that you've held have actually been holding you back, you know, because we're talking about Saturn, we're talking about restriction. So it could be that you have a realization through maybe something that causes tension. You have a realization that some old beliefs that you have been restricting you and actually prompting more fear in your life and holding you back instead of allowing you to shine and to grow and to be who you really are. This all, once again, ties in with self-expression. So that could be an interesting day to watch for. I think it will kind of present itself probably more as an internal thing you'll feel. It might not be obvious to others. It could be that someone says something or an idea is presented to you and it just raises something in you, and you suddenly realize, hang on a minute, my beliefs have allowed me to kind of not be myself and hold myself back in this area. So that could be an interesting one, but there will be light shed on this later towards the month. And this is on the 29th when Mercury trines Saturn in Sagittarius, but I will get to that in a bit. So on the 20th then we have the Sun entering Aries, so happy birthday. Like I said, the focus is all on you this month. So you should be feeling, well, with Mercury and the Sun in your sign and all these other planets in your sign, I mean, it really is about you, and it really is about you expressing yourself. And if you can, like, really, with the Sun there, just really, you know, find a bit of joy and get a bit of that confidence back if you feel like you've been knocked about a bit. You know, and just really try and celebrate and have a great time because you've been doing a lot of work. You have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. On the 25th, we've got the Sun conjunct Venus, and that's in your sign as well. So this is interesting. So you know how I said about, you've been thinking about love, self-expression, self-worth. You've been thinking about basically who you are as a person. So now the Sun conjuncting Venus, this tells me that all of the thinking you've done, the assessing, the going through feelings, maybe the talking with the partner, this day, you know, you might find that you're starting to see the results of it. You get a really good feeling, you make some progress. You might find that you have a bit of a breakthrough and it's really healing and it's really lovely. And this process of kind of going back over things and looking at who you really are, you might start to see a bit of the fruits of it on this day. So it could be a really lovely day for you. A really positive day. Where are we now? So I'm getting lost. Okay, so on the 27th, this is followed up then by a new moon in your sign on the 27th. So you have the Sun conjunct Venus. So that's like positive, good feeling. That is feeling love, feeling abundant, feeling understood, feeling cared about, feeling appreciated, even if it's you feeling it for yourself. And then the new moon in Aries, this is great because it's like, it's driving home that this is a fresh start for you. You've been doing all this reassessing from the beginning of the month, and now the new moon in Aries after the Sun conjunct Venus, it's like, okay, this is nice, this is a fresh start. I'm feeling like I'm washing the old energy away, the baggage away, the things that were holding me back and stopping me from being me, they're being washed away. And then on the 29th, which I mentioned just now, you've got Mercury trine Saturn. And Mercury's in your sign, Saturn is in Sagittarius, and this is at 27 degrees. So to me, this speaks to that Sun square Saturn on the 17th. So you know where I said you were feeling tension about maybe beliefs and holding yourself back and fears? Well, now I feel like some light's being shed on that. Your thinking is starting to become clearer, more progressive and more grounded. And it's almost as though you're going, you know what? I know that belief no longer serves me. I no longer need to hide myself or feel badly about myself, or I no longer need to believe that thing which holds me back. And instead you're focusing on the future, but in a realistic way, you know, working with that Saturn energy, and you're going, right, okay, well, I've been looking at things inside myself, and now I'm ready to embrace the future and expand, be more expansive, but within reason and with beliefs that really are grounded in reality and that will really help push me forward. On the 31st, Mercury enters Taurus, and so then, after doing all this thinking about the self and who you are and self-expression, we start to move away from that a little bit, and your thinking starts to be on security, because, you know, we've had Mars move into that area on the 10th, so now your thinking is more about security and shoring things up for yourself. And that's the way it happens, isn't it? Because we can't move forward, we can't provide ourselves with stability and security unless we first know who we are and feel good about who we are. You know, it's no good doing something and not even knowing where you're coming from. And the great thing about this month is you're getting the opportunity to really find out where you're coming from, how you feel about yourself, how you've been caring about yourself, how you're allowing yourself to be. And you're going to really work through that, and with that you're going to come out of this month, you're going to finish this month off feeling more certain in yourself, able to provide more security for yourself. Like I said, Venus is retrograde until 15th of April, so there'll still be work to do, but you can see how you're gradually moving forward. And I mean, this is a great month, it's a huge month, it's such a big month. It is all about change, it's all about transformation, and you know, all of us are going to experience it in a big way on some level. Just trying to see if there's anything else I've left out. No, I think that's it. So anyway, I hope you have a fantastic month, Aries. Just to let you know, I am giving away free readings this month. I'll put a link just here. So I'm giving away 4 free readings of your choice. If you go to my site, enter your name, your details, put which reading you're interested in, and you'll be entered into the competition, which will be drawn in about 2 weeks' time. I think I'm going to do it. I should probably give you a date, shouldn't I? Okay, so let's say it's the 1st now, so 15th. On the 15th, I'm going to draw names from a hat, and then 4 of you will get free readings, and I'll do those readings over the course of the next month or 2, depending on your schedule. It's just something I felt like giving, and it just gives you guys a nice idea of me. If you want to book a reading, you're welcome to go to the site and put in your details, and I will get back to you. So thank you so much. It's going to be an incredible month. It's going to be a month to remember, and there is so much value in this month. So I really, really hope that you take as much out of it as you are being guided to take. I really hope you do, because this could be such a fantastic month and full of so much growth and healing and learning and love. Okay, take care, guys. Lovely to speak to you. Bye-bye.